Hello, welcome to the channel. ToolArmy. I left a little post on my channel. I said I have never summoned the ToolArmy because I am a long time OGT. 93, I didn't make 92. So 29 year, maybe 30 now. I've been doing Nightwish reactions, and my partner at OGL is an Epica and Nightwish guru. Like an OGT of the, actually, they're called the Nightwish Army. And I am going to read lyrics because I know a lot of reactors don't pull them up. I think you should pull up lyrics even to a country song, really, but we all know, especially to Tool. Shout out, guys. I'm in like 11 chat rooms because I like the number 11. And got tattoos everywhere. Anyway, I ain't trying to be struck Maynard's ego, you know. So, OGL is not a huge fan of the way Maynard sings, so I thought it would be interesting for kind of a critic that loves symphonic metal to go on the Tool rabbit hole of, I don't like calling it prog, but I guess it is. So yeah, I think reading the lyrics are a lot more powerful than the way Maynard sings them to a layman, because you know he doesn't really go within song structure to write his music after it's done. I know he's made reference that he goes in and tweaks a little at the end if there's a spot he absolutely can't fit his melody in his little smart car or his truck riding around with it on loop. He's a damn nut. He don't really hate us. We all know that. That's for the other people. The non. I call myself a Tool Logan in the reactions because my name's Logan. Logan. So Tool and Logan, drop one L. What you got? I know it's spelled Gin, but Tool Logan. So it just lets people know that I'm an obsessed Tool fan reacting to their damn people. Now I've held on to that. I wrestled with not keeping that name, but so that's the introduction to me. First song. I'm gonna go with Intolerance because we'll do like an album breakdown of Opiate. He's heard most of Opiate. Maybe Part of Me and Cold and Ugly, but he's heard Jerk Off and Sweat, because Sweat's one of my favorite songs. Of course, Opiate. All right, so that's not about me, you know. So OGL is gonna read the lyrics to Intolerance and then react to it. And then we're gonna see what he has to say.
I'd appreciate that, Danny. I've actually been looking forward to this. I appreciate you doing bands like Nightwish and Epica, so I am going to dive into Tool. And the great thing about Tool is really don't need a whole lot of backstory because most everyone knows who they are. Wasn't always that way. They used to be as underground as they get. And Danny has given me the song Intolerance from their debut album Undertow. I'm going to read off the lyrics here. And lyrics are very, very important to Tool. And I am going to jump into the song and see what I think. I do know that Tool has evolved a lot in their time. I know that they take their time and they don't put out crap just to put something out, which I very much respect. So I am going to check out, I'm going to read the lyrics here for Intolerance, and then I'm going to dig into the song. And please bear with me, guys. I've been up for a while. I've got off work not too long ago, and I'm the caffeine is wearing down. So I'm not sure if I'm in prime intellectual sparring shape, especially for a heavyweight like Maynard, but I'm going to give it my best shot.
But he takes care of his mother all the time, and he's very much taking care of his mother. So we can all relate to that.
I'd like to think that Maynard himself would appreciate that. But thank you for putting that out there, Danny. I appreciate it. I do my best. Alrighty, Intolerance. I don't want to be hostile. I don't want to be dismal. And I don't want to rot in an apathetic existence. See, I want to believe you. And I wanted to trust you. and I want to have faith to put away the dagger. But you lie, cheat, and steal. You lie, cheat, and steal. You lie, cheat, and steal, and I tolerate you. You lie, cheat, and steal. You lie, cheat, and steal. You lie, cheat, and
You
steal,
might not
and
have to say
cannot
that every time.
tolerate. Veil of virtue, hung to hide your method, while I smile and laugh and dance and sing your praise and glory. Shroud of virtue hung to mask your stigma, as I smile and laugh and dance and sing your glory. While you lie, cheat, and steal. Lie, cheat, and steal. How can I tolerate you? You lie, cheat, and steal. Lie, cheat, and steal. I cannot tolerate our guilt, our blame. I've been far too sympathetic. Our blood, our fault. I've been far too sympathetic. I am not innocent. I am not innocent. You are not innocent. No one is innocent. You lie, cheat, and steal repeated about 8 billion times. And then how can I tolerate you? I will not tolerate you. I will go down beside you. I must go down beside you. No one is innocent. So I'm very interested to hearing these lyrics put to music because just reading them, they had a very rhythmic feel to them. And just from what I've heard, from what Danny has played me, from what I remember about listening to Tool, very few bands, if any, can build on a groove quite like Tool can. So, all right, gonna shake off the nerves. How did you call it, Danny? Intimidated? Maybe a little bit now.
Yeah,
But let's check.
are you intimidated?
I believe maybe just a little bit now. So, what's the old saying? Everyone has a point until they get hit. So, here comes some Intolerance. Okay, so right off the bat, I know it's a super quick pause, but I love how Tool is not in any hurry to impress you. Like a lot of their songs, they start with not even music, just like weird ambient sounds. It's almost like they're poking at your ears, just trying to get them to perk up a little bit, so they'll be more ready for the sonic assault when it comes. So I'm gonna go back here just a bit so I can catch the entrance of that riff, and we're gonna go. So,
Sorry.
you right there, buddy?
Yeah, sorry.
Right. So right off the bat, that guitar riff that came in, it was very catchy, pretty basic stuff. But when you add that bass that was coming in, and it had that bass had a really sick tone. The interplay between that riff and the bass really elevated that riff into something something a bit more interesting than it would have been on its own. Um, Again, Tool's use of rhythmic elements, the bass, and I've heard that this Carey fellow might be a fairly competent drummer. He's showing me a bit here. I've been told by a few people he might be capable of more. Suppose we'll see.
Well, the reactors that
So
say they
right off
don't
the
know
bat,
Danny Carey is crazy, but I want to. I got to adjust the rule here. I'm sorry. I
no,
will
it's
let
okay.
you know if you need to back it up a little bit. If you're right at a climax point when you pause it, it's okay. But I think they will appreciate me doing that.
Okay,
So back it up about 10 seconds before you go back. Thank you.
back it up about 10 seconds. I got you. So just right off the bat, again, very interesting rhythm of the words here. I know Maynard doesn't like to sing in what I would call a typical melody or cadence. Just from what I've heard, and again, haven't done a full dive in yet. So Maynard's voice is taking some getting used to for me. So right off the bat here, and I know he very seldom enters full bore. It feels sort of drowned out by the instruments. It's kind of high pitched. His voice in this just sounds kind of small, and there's a lot of, well, for lack of a better term, hostility in the lyrics. At the very least, they're relatively confrontational, but the confrontation is escalating. So right now it says, I don't want to be hostile. I don't want to be dismal. So that could be what he's going for here. So right off the bat, but I'm a minute in. I'm going to back this up as was instructed by my OGT mentor. And let us try this again. So, gonna back up just a bit because there's a lot going on here that I'm not sure I completely digested properly. I did want to say on the lie, cheat, and steal bit, there's a very subtle use of reverb there that I think was really cool. It felt like his voice was sort of sliding off. I love the drum and bass interplay on that bit. It's very percussive, very very rhythmic, very has a tribal feeling to it. And I know Danny is into those kind of tribal beats and sort of, I guess what you call, he's into some very interesting shit. Sacred geometry, tribal drum beats, stuff like that. Drummers do not have the reputation for being the brightest members of the band. Danny knows his shit. He's into some very fascinating stuff, and he is mathematically precise with his drum beats. Like I said, the Tool is a rhythmic juggernaut. Make no mistake about that. But let me go back and listen to some stuff here.
He's seen the Danny Carey drum cam video.
Yeah, Danny is a beast, a kraken, one would say, or a kraken if you prefer. He's cracking those drums, I'll tell you that. All right, let's try this again. That's an awesome riff. All right, so help me out. ToolArmy, if you're there. This fellow that Maynard is referencing, does he lie, cheat, and steal? Because I'm at this point, I'm uncertain. I'm teasing, of course. I have not dived into the lyrics here. This really does seem like it's speaking to a person who is very hypocritical, someone who is very self-righteous and does not seem to have the capability of turning that moral microscope on themselves. What was it? Veil of virtue hung to hide your method. For instance, master your stigma as I smile and laugh and dance and sing your glory while you lie, cheat, and steal. Lie, cheat, and steal. Maynard, obviously not a big fan of a lot of the corrupt institutions that run things. Church, for one thing, and this could very easily be referencing the church. That's a fairly easy target at this point. But it could be referencing political groups. It could be representing sort of any institution basically that basically says, okay, if you're with us, you can do whatever you want, but we're going to cast judgment on all of you. Again, I love how the intensity of the song is picking up. There's some very cool guitar riffs going on. Adam Jones at this point is probably my favorite part of Tool. I think he gets the least press of any of the band members, but I love his sound. Danny has referred to him as a master of distortion. I do think he lives up to that. I love his playing too. It feels very soulful. It's very very melodic, but it can be very noisy and abrasive when it needs to be. Y'all may kill me, but I've always thought that Adam Jones was actually my favorite vocalist for Tool. So I think he does make the guitar sing at times. But Maynard is getting a bit more of an aggressive approach to his vocals here. And if I ever am critical of Maynard's singing, it is not because I believe he lacks skill. Because if I were to say that, then I clearly know nothing. He obviously has skill. Among other things, his breath control is out of this world. Like when he wants to hold a note, he can hold it for a long time. He can put a lot of force behind his voice when he wants to. I do think that there are times when his choice of melodies or cadences is a bit quirky to the point of being off-putting. That may be his point. And I also think that, and this could be a production issue, I do think that sometimes not sometimes, I think he lacks a robustness in his tone that I think would make what he's singing pop out a bit more. That is just me. I'm going to continue listening to this because I'm liking where it's going. That was awesome. Okay, so the ending of that, how awesome was that? And I think that is one of my favorite aspects of Tool's sound is when they all just kind of lock together into that groove and just go stampeding on. Yeah, that last minute, that was, I love that. And funny thing is, like, that could have gone on for another minute or two and I would have been happy. And this is by Tool standards, this is not quite 5 minutes. This is a really, really, really short song. So it's obvious that they've grown so much from this, since this song. But it is also clear that they were bringing some very unique characteristics to the table from the beginning. Again, Danny Carey's drumming, nothing very showboaty here that from Danny. Just very, very solid grooves, very solid fills. And when Tool wants to make you groove, you'll groove whether you want to or not. They're very rhythmically insistent. I love that aspect of their sound. So, Danny, I know you're still there. Am I basically correct as my assumption of my assessment of the lyrics? These are.
I'm just trying not to look at you while you're reacting.
I apologize.
I don't want my face to sway you one way or the other.
Yeah, I'm dragging you into this, but it does seem like.
I'm sorry about that, y'all.
I apologize. It just does seem like he is referencing someone that maybe he is even maybe someone he thought of as a friend who sort of went down a very hypocritical, judgmental path.
Well, I'll tell you, that's what he was referencing then. He's referencing whatever you come up with.
Fair enough. I guess I'm
Catholic Church. It could be your ego. It could be an ex-girlfriend. It could be some friend that pissed in his cornflakes.
Yeah.
I primarily think it would be more about the church and ego would be my two guesses.
Yeah, the lie, cheating, and stealing. Yeah.
And
if he had said
when he repeats himself like that,
cornflakes.
I have been very annoyed. We were talking about that before with people that keep repeating back in my, or no, that's all right song, but I mean, I'm just saying there are some songs that really repeat themselves. But I think when Maynard's doing it in this song particularly, he's just basically like a bass line, or he's just a rhythm for it. Really, the bass, which is Paul, this whole album, Paul Dimore, and he wrote 4 songs on Anima, but he didn't. There are some demos of him recording them, but he didn't. He wasn't with the band when the album was cut.
I also think that it almost sounds like, and I do agree, like a lot of times repetition can be annoying, but I also think it's a pretty solid compositional tool. And to me, especially the way it was like escalating emotionally at that point, both musically and vocally, it's just like it's just a means to, what's the word I would convey the frustration with this individual. Like and you see that sometimes in arguments where people just start screaming the same thing over and over again because they're trying to ram it into your head and you're not getting it through. You feel like you've done.
I feel that's accurate.
Yeah,
I have found that the more I've listened to it, that when he's chanting that lie, cheating, steal, it seems like in the middle of it, traditionally it should grow a little bit in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how it would structurally sound right, but it doesn't. He keeps the same tone till the very last cadence.
Yeah.
And then he kicks it. So it's kind of like you tolerated it the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And the very end was Intolerance.
Yes. That's like, okay, now I'm done.
That's how I felt why they did it that way. Because I've always wanted him to kick in like one time and get a little more aggressive, but it's a perfect representation for I tolerated it as long as I could, which, like you said, it gets annoying over and over and over.
Yeah, and
it's kind of
I think we both know. Yeah, we both know that Maynard is not the source of writer. He's not the source. He's not the type of writer who is going to repeat something because he doesn't have anything else to come up with. If he's repeating something, he's repeating it for a reason. So I think we pretty much nailed it. It's this escalation of frustration, and finally, okay, I'm done. So it is fascinating seeing Tool in this, for lack of a better term, primordial stage. I'm used to sort of the more epic sort of exploratory stuff that they've been doing, I guess, more recently. But it's cool. It's catchy. And I'm pretty sure that if I had a head for music theory, or if I looked at sheet music, there's probably some time signatures there that would, cause me to have an aneurysm if I tried to count them. but it never sounded complex for its own sake. When it got complex, it seemed like it was that way to convey a dissonance or a disjointed feeling, sort of like a break in your thought process. Like, for instance, you caring about someone versus your disdain for the path that they're going by. So I'm so far, and again, this is a debut album. I'm impressed, very impressed, and very much digging it. And I'm looking forward to doing the next one because, as we mentioned before, Tool is not a band that likes to sit on their, not like one that likes to rest on their laurels. They're not going to be pumping the same stuff out left and right. So
we're not going to be doing it sober, guys. He's heard it. Everyone's heard it.
Yes,
I love sober, but that 15 years, anytime you'd find anybody in your county, the one person that had heard of Tool, these sing sober, don't they?
Sober, yeah.
So I love the song. It's like a Skinner fan that only knows Sweet Home Alabama, or Zeppelin only knows Stairway to Heaven, or Iron Maiden only knows Run to the Hills. You know what I mean? He's like,
yes. Yeah.
So I will not react to his reaction at all until the next reaction. And then I'll tell you what I think about what he did now.
Reactionception.
I'm not going to say spiral.
Please bear with me, guys. I've seriously enjoyed this, doing this song. I'm really looking forward to doing more Tool, and just please bear with me because, as I said before, currently not at my peak, and I think reacting to a Tool song is something you almost got to train for, So I promise I'll come ready. I'll be in sparring shape. But
yeah, we're actually like laying overtime right now. I mean, his mom's ready to go eat, and he's looking over his shoulder at her. She's in there. She's a beautiful lady. She watches horror movies with him and watches people cut up people. And I mean,
Mom is the coolest 83-year-old woman you will ever find, and one of the toughest too.
And Greg loves her like Maynard loved Judith. So my car's named Judith, by the way. I had a Tool tank, but that pony went out to pasture and moved on my neck. I can't really walk.
So I would like to think of myself as the Anakin to Danny's Obi-Wan, just maybe a little less of a whiny bitch. You know what I mean?
We'll get Link Johnson in here on one of these reactions, and you'll see a real Tool fan.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll be really outclassed. I'll just sit back and learn from the masters there.
I got 4 Tool tats. How many y'all got? Let me know in the comments. I ain't gonna tell you how to do this. You know how to do it.
I've got a tool box. Does that count?
Yeah, man. Whatever, man. There are tools everywhere.
Tools in the drawer.
Wait, that's what part of me was about. Not really.
But ToolArmy, if you're here, welcome to the channel. Glad to meet you, and we hope you'll stick around for the next one.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna give him hell. We're gonna put him in the fire. We're gonna metamorphosize him.
This is literally my second solo. This is literally my second solo reaction. He's making me do Tool. That is throwing someone into the fire.
Yeah, the first one was Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
So you can throw me into the fire because I've got skin made of asbestos. So, and thank you all for sitting here and tolerating my attempts to digest the enigma that is Tool. And again,
so we will speak no more of our pens beneath, to quote Lane Staley. ToolArmy. Yes. Peace out.
Thank you, ToolArmy. Thank you, guys. Love you.
What is the best Tool song? What is my favorite Tool song, OGL?
Eulogy.
Man, it's the one that's playing, man.